Hey there everybody, my name is Heretoga and welcome back to our Tile Wars series. And the Tile Wars series has been moved into a fresh creative world because I just needed more space. I didn't have enough space for the project in my survival world, so I moved it to its own world basically. And here it is. I finished the project and I made all the decks. And they're all laid out nice and neatly for you all, so it's more pleasing on the eyes and it's easier to understand by what you're seeing. Okay, so there's 5 decks in total. I did originally just have the grass deck, and then I made a desert deck, and then I asked the audience if they wanted other biomes, and they mostly said yes. So it's taken me a while to get the other decks made and figuring out how to actually play the game and figuring out some of the rules and also what to play the game on as well. Like, do you play it on the floor or do you play it on a board? So I've had all this to figure out and it's taken me a while, so sorry if you haven't seen me in a while folks, but it's all done now. So as you can see, we have the grass deck, and I've taken away the path tiles out of this deck, and I've tuned it up and refined it the best that I can. And also I want to give a shout out to QPTech for helping me because he told me how to rename blocks because I didn't know how to do it, so thank you QP for that. So I was able to rename all of these tiles and give them points values as well, just to help people understand what they have in their hand and how many points it gives you. So it's a massive help being able to rename blocks. So I've never done it before, so I was like, how do you do it? But yes, we've got the grass deck here. It's a very special deck though, it's different to all the other decks. But we'll get to that though. We have the desert deck, which is also claystone. So this is sandstone and claystone. And the claystone is the bonus biome for the desert deck, right? So all these other decks, they have bonus biomes. Apart from the last deck, which we'll get to. So yes, sandstone and claystone. Then we have granite and shale. We have conglomerate. It's quite a long word, isn't it? Conglomerate and lime. And then we have basalt and chalk. Now chalk doesn't have a bonus biome add-on to this deck. It's instead integrated into the basalt tiles. And also, all these decks have not only a bonus biome, but they have a bonus rock type as well. So this deck has andesite in places in some of the tiles. The conglomerate and limestone, that has peridotite, mostly in the mountains, as you can see. There's peridotite in the mountains there. Granite and shale has chert. So the sandstone and the claystone has slate in there. And the grass deck, well, that has bauxite. So there we go. Those are all the decks and the add-ons to the decks and the bonus rock type as well. So I managed to squeeze in as many biomes as I could for this game. But like I said, it's taken me so many hours. Just in this world alone, I've already been in this world for 7 hours already. 7 hours. And that's just working on these 3 decks here. figuring out how to play the game, figuring out the rules, and designing the boards as well, and getting it all laid out nice and neatly, and replicating the tiles and putting them in the boxes. So, yeah, there we go. There we go. Now, I have used the magic wand to export these decks. So I have these files separately for all of these decks, and the game modes and the rules, and each one of these boards. And I'll make these files available to you all for download if you come to my Discord channel, because I started my own Discord channel now, so if you want this game, you'll be able to just turn up, join the channel, and download the files. Yes, the Togian Empire. I'll put the link in the description. So now, the game modes and the rules. Let's go through some of these. Alright. Now then, the first game mode. You can simply just play the game. There's no rules needed. You can make your own rules if you like. Obviously, you take in turn placing down a tile. But yeah, just have fun and create like a massive world. No scores, no winners or losers. You don't need to use the boards. And you don't need to use the biome connectors, which are these things here. These pieces here. So before I move on, I'll explain these right now. So to be able to connect sand to grass, you have to use these pieces here, right? Because you can't just place down a sand tile straight up next to a grass tile. So that's what these pieces are for. And it's the same with your biome add-on to your deck as well. There's biome connectors for that too. So there's connectors to connect your claystone tiles to your sand tiles, right? So that's why in easy mode it says you don't need to use the connectors. You can just place a desert tile next to a grass tile if you want to, and it doesn't matter. You can just do that. Then another player can just do that. So that's what that means, right? And these biome connector tiles, they're in their own box as well. So they're easy to pick, right? So the second game mode, it's about scoring points. It's a lot like the first game mode. The only difference is you score points, and whoever gets the most points wins, right? Like I said, all these tiles have a points value to it. Wow, this one gives you 7 points if you placed that. 7 points, that's a lot of points. So yeah, you can use the rules if you want to. You can use the boards as well if you want to. And you can use the biome connectors if you want to. So it's like easy mode, but you can use the extra rules if you want to. It's up to you. But the most important thing about this game mode is scoring points, right? So you can just play game mode 1, but score points. That's all game mode 2 is. Game mode 3 is the proper way of playing the game. That's where a lot of the rules come into play as well. So we'll go through game mode 3. You got 2 objectives. 1 is scoring points to win, and 2 is taking up as much space as you can compared to the other player. Because if someone can't place a tile, right? If you can't place a tile, it's game over. So that's why it's important to take as much land as you can. You have to use the rules, right? Take in turn, placing tiles, spread across the board, get as much spaces as you can. And you might think, well, how is that possible if you take in turns placing tiles? Because you're both going to have the same amount of space each. we'll get to that in a second, because some of the tiles have special abilities. Okay, so you get points for placing down the tile, and it tells you how many points you get for placing that tile down. You get extra points for connecting the edges. So if you are playing the desert deck and you place a desert tile next to another desert tile, not only do you get the points for that tile, which in this case is 3, but you also get 1 extra point for every edge that connects to the same biome, right? So let's say this tile is worth 3 points, right? And I plop it there. I get my 3 points, but I also get 1 point for every edge that connects to the same biome. So that's what that rule means. Extra points for connecting the edges. Now, most points wins. You have to use the boards. So yeah, it's a little bit more complicated than game mode 1. Game mode 2 is just game mode 1 with scoring points, but game mode 3 is the proper way to play the game. Now it says you must use the board, but like I said, you can play this game however you want to. You don't have to use the boards if you don't, but I did make 3 sizes, right? So even just 2 players can still play on the biggest board. So the small, medium and large. So the rules. The youngest goes first. Everybody has to start with a blank tile, which are these blank tiles. Don't have anything on them, they're just blank. Everyone has to start with a blank tile. And there's a marker on the floor to tell you where to place your first tile. So that's what these coloured squares are for. Place your first tile on that square. The other person places their first tile on a coloured square. All right. You don't have to use the bonus biome tiles. That's the secondary deck in your deck, right? So if you play desert and claystone, you don't have to use the claystone. You can just use the desert if you want. It's the same for the other decks as well. So you don't have to use your bonus deck. Somebody has to play grass deck. So however many players you're playing this with, at least one person has to use the grass deck. Now, as for some of the abilities, get to that in a sec. Yeah, so if you can't place a tile, it's game over. If a tile is removed, so are the points. So you can lose points as well. If someone is able to remove your tile, this tile here is worth 3 points, right? That's my tile I have placed down. But if someone removes it, not only do I lose that space, but I also lose those 3 points. So you have to keep track of your points, right? So now let's get on to the abilities, right? So the ruins, we'll start with the ruins. I should have got these 3 rules in order. But yes, ponds, because every deck has ponds, those can remove ruins. So that player's got a ruin down, right? Only ponds can get rid of ruins. So if I place a pond down, I can remove their ruin, right? Because water destroys buildings, so that's the logic behind that. But say that player has a ruin down, right? You can't place a tile next to an enemy ruin except for ponds. So ponds are the only tiles you can place down next to enemy ruins. You can't place anything else there, so I'm safe. I've got a ruin down, no one can place anything next to my ruin. I've got access to these are my spaces around this ruin. Oh no, but wait. They've placed a pond there and got rid of my ruin. No. Now they've got access to all, you know what I'm saying? So ruins are good because they're like blockers. They can block enemy progress and stop them from getting near you and taking over the spaces, but there is a way for them to get rid of your blockers, and that's ponds. Mountains can only be placed next to ponds. So even though they may have placed a pond down to get rid of your ruin, now they're also stuck because the only tiles they can place next to a pond is a mountain. So you have to use these tiles wisely. I think there's one for meteors as well. There was one for meteors, where is it? Yeah. A placed meteor can remove a tile it's touching. So I should have got a desert meteor, but yeah, let's say I want to get rid of my pond, right? Well, I can just place down one of my meteors to get rid of my pond if I want to. Or I can place it next down to an enemy pond and get rid of their pond. So that's what meteors do. They can get rid of ponds. So yes, I'll try and do this the best I can. So mountains can only be placed down next to ponds, and that's because mountains give you a lot of points, and some of the decks have a lot of mountains, right? So that rule stops you from just placing down loads of mountains all the time. So you're kind of limited to where you can place mountains and when. So, and then ruins can block players from placing down tiles next to their ruins, but ponds can get rid of ruins, and meteors can get rid of ponds. So sounds complicated, but these are the 4 tile types that do things, right? So yeah, it's all there on the board if you get stuck. So there's not that many complicated rules to the game, really, but like I said, everybody's mostly going to be playing game mode 1, let's face it, right? Even I would. I'd be like, yeah, let's build up a massive world. Tell you what, I'll have 2 decks and you can have 2 decks. Yeah, how about that? So, yeah, but you can tag team up as well. You can have 4 players. So you can have 2 players against 2 players. Play it however you want to. But if you want a serious game of it, where you're playing for prizes or whatever in your worlds, then focus down on game mode 3. Alright? The rules are there to help. The boards are there for use. So there you go. Now, one quick thing. There's only one of each tile, except for the blanks and the biome connectors, right? Biome connectors are in there, the blanks are in there. They're all in their own box. Now, every other tile is in these trunks. So there's one of every other tile. There's only one of every pond, one of every mountain, one of every hill. Okay? But the grass deck's a bit different. Just saying. Because they've got forest sets, right? They've got forest sets. Not only that, but they have a river set and an ocean set as well. So that's the most complicated deck out of all these. And these are all... they don't even have any biome connectors either, right? Because they're the main force, right? These are the bad guys, so to speak. So the idea behind that is in Vintage Story, the Earth is reclaiming its land, right? So the Earth is taking over, but the other biomes have to fight against that. So you got your grass tiles in there, your water tiles in there, and your tree tiles in there. You notice There's 3 of every tree tile. Apart from the full tile of trees, there's 1 extra. It's the same with the river pieces and the ocean pieces, right? So there you go. I don't think there's anything more to tell you or teach you. But like I said, I'll have individual files for the decks and the game modes and the rules. That'll be 1 file, and then 1 file for each of the boards, right? But I'll also put the world file in there. I'll try to anyway, and make this world accessible for download. If you don't feel comfortable using the magic wand to place down builds that you've got from other players. But if you do want to do that and you don't know how to do it, I have made a video on how to do it with the magic wand. So yeah, okay, right. I think that's it. I'll leave it here. But yeah, it's been a lot of work. A lot of thought has gone into this. But you've got 3 game modes that you can use as stencils to play this game. So yeah, good luck to you all. I hope you all have fun with it. It's my gift to you. I like to give something back for all of you helping me to grow the channel so far. And speaking of growth, please be sure to like, share, comment and subscribe if you've enjoyed this episode. And like I said, if you want this game and you want these files, come down to the Discord channel and join the channel and you'll be able to download the files, place them down into your own worlds and play this game with your friends. I'm going to make other games. I'm not just going to stop here. There'll be more to come. Alright, so with that said and done, I'm going to love you all and leave you all. Thank you for watching and have a good rest of the day. Goodbye.